Today, I'd like to share with you one of my movers' journey through their one-on-one program. Her name is Courtney, and let's take a dive into her story. We are live. We are sitting here for our next internal interview. We are sitting with Courtney Ferguson now. When I met her, she was Courtney Hall. Congrats, Court.
Thank you.
And Courtney is someone who's been through all of the ISO services, from one-on-one coaching coming in for pain management, going all the way through um, all levels, graduate level and certification level. So Courtney is deep in the game at this point. Only reason someone would have gone that deep in the game is because the results and the changes, the shifts that they found were worth exploring. So that said, these interviews are to allow people that aren't myself to explain their experiences, their thoughts and their process, and some of the things that they've learned. So thank you very much, Court, for sitting down with me. The first question I have for you is, where are you from and what are you doing for work?
So I'm from Northern California originally, but I live in sunny San Diego now. I grew up coming here when I was very young. My dad's family's from here, so I just knew I needed to live here. And yeah, so I've been living here for the last almost 5 years, and I don't plan on leaving. The best. I am in technology sales, so specifically account management now, and I've been doing that for 4 years now, a little over 4 years, but also trying to get into more of my teaching this inside out movement stuff. So that's
Mhm.
really become a passion of mine, and I'm looking to make that a priority in terms of my business.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Never gonna hurt to have more people teaching some material that works.
Mhm.
And next up for you, why did you first come in for coaching?
First come in for coaching.
Mhm.
I, with my current job, there was very much a lack of passion and interest that I had with it. And from doing ISO movements for 2 years now, I just have become so passionate, so interested in not only learning more about the whole practice, but also just deepening the relationship that I have with myself physically and emotionally. And I thought, what better way to learn more about myself and then also be able to do this for others than by getting certified. I think there's always been something in me that's wanted to help people. I've always said that, whether it be volunteering, something. I knew that there was something I wanted to do with that. I just didn't know what exactly it was. So learning more
Love
about
that.
myself and helping myself in this just seemed like a really good opportunity to do it for others.
Excellent. And now if you can think back all the way to 2 years ago,
Mhm.
what was the reason that you had started, or the pain points you were experiencing to go into one-on-one coaching?
Yes. So my main reason for starting one-on-one coaching was I developed sciatica on the left side of my body, like mainly in my leg. So I would just experience a lot of numbness in my leg. And I remember my grip being very loose on my left side. So if I was holding a dumbbell,
Mm.
it would like slowly start to, I couldn't hold it. I couldn't grip it. I was like, what is happening? So I was weight training a ton. I do also remember starting to experience more consistent back spasms though. And I remember having to take a lot of time to just um, put a heater on my back, things like that. And things just continued to worsen instead of getting better as I continued living.
Just live, right.
It's
Just
like
live.
it's like I don't know if this the right the how I want to live, and I gotta change something.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And if you can remember, what were some of your apprehensions or fears as you were going to get started? What was like, okay, is this investment worth it? What were you afraid of?
I was afraid it wasn't I was afraid it was just going to be another Band-Aid solution. I had tried a ton of stuff before, like so many
Mhm.
things. Dry needling, chiropractic work. I was weight training a ton to like build muscle. massage therapy, physical therapy, like YouTube videos. My one friend had sciatica. He's like, oh, follow this guy on YouTube. Nothing was working. So I think I was just like, oh, so it's just going to be like another thing that I add on to my list of things I've tried and paid for and not worked. So that was definitely my biggest one. Um, yeah, I think that was my biggest one. I was pretty desperate at that point. So I was also
Yeah.
very willing to just like do anything to feel better.
Yeah. As you'll learn from the coaching side, the sad truth is most of the time you're not going to get a call until things are desperate.
Yeah.
And as you know well by now, I hope everyone starts to know, is what I'm starting to wrap my head around asking of people is to be a smarter person than I was, or you were, or
Yeah.
the next person. I would love to invite people to be the person that takes care of themselves, prioritizes themselves first before shit hits the fan.
Totally.
Will it ever happen? I didn't do it. It's hard to say that it's doable, but I hope. And then yeah, exactly. How long did it take you into our one-on-one coaching to begin to see changes, results, shifts?
Well, I think that I think I could have probably seen results more if I was more serious about it at the beginning. I was still like weight training every day. I wasn't doing the homework. I was still doing my thing, and still seeing the same result. My sciatica was still flaring up and everything. So it took, I would say, I mean, I think my sciatica went away in the first 3-month block that we had together. I think I probably could have gotten rid of it within like a month and a half, 2 months if I was actually more
When
serious
you look
about it.
back,
Yeah. I remember, I think it was like after month 1, I was like, okay, so I keep doing this and I keep having this result. All right, swallow your ego. Like, just do, like, you're literally paying for this. Like, just be serious about it for like 2 months and see what happens. And then sure enough, I was like, okay, I'm sold. Like, sciatica's gone. Let's see what else we can get.
yeah, isn't that funny how we get in our way like that?
Yeah.
And look, you did it in months. It took me years, probably decades, to, if I'm being completely honest. So nicely
Yeah.
done on that one. But good. That's a great answer to that one. And along that journey, specifically in the one-on-one coaching,
Mhm.
what was something that you learned that you didn't expect to learn?
My gosh. One thing.
You can go with a couple. You can go with a couple.
I mean, the first thing that sticks out is just my awareness of how I was holding my body and the ways in which I was moving and how it was so related to my emotional state or beliefs that I had of how I needed to be. So I would make my body a certain way. I remember like there was one specific, like I didn't want my chest to be out, so I would cave it in. Those little things, but they really make a difference in your body over time. And then it's like becoming more curious about why I'm holding my body in certain ways and just becoming more familiar and then transforming that belief or that pattern to something else. I think the other thing that I've learned is that my body is way more adaptable than I thought it would be. I have been able to experience like a really crazy amount of change, and I just keep experiencing more change in my body, and it's pretty addicting. It can be like kind of annoying at first. I'm like, I keep having to do this, but now I'm like, okay, like let's keep going. Like let's see what else I can do here. So, yeah, pretty cool
Very
stuff.
good. Yeah. I've had the pleasure of watching Courtney turn many corners.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big one for you,
Mhm.
is understanding your own capability and capacity. And hopefully now when you look back, you remember, hopefully I said it enough, that you remember how much I always believed in you or told you what you were capable of, even if you couldn't quite see that at the time.
Yeah.
And yes.
I think that's another good point actually, is just like not believing in my ability mentally, but then just continuing to do it physically until that caught up with my mind to be like, oh, okay, like I actually can do this. Like, so what am I telling myself I can't do here? Like, and it just starts to diminish that belief over time, which is pretty neat. The more physical
Excellent.
stuff you do. So,
Excellent. You've gotten to see how it traverses from just simple physical conversations all the way
Hmm.
up the ladder, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, belief system wise.
Yeah.
It's very, very fun to watch from my side. So, you know, and next up, of all those different things you tried, right? Therapies, rehabs, probably massages, chiropractors, so on and so forth. How was this education, what we went through, different from what you had done previously?
I mean, it, I don't even think it's like comparable, but in like the best way, I
Mhm.
do think that it, it really, it's not asking somebody else to figure it out for you. I'm given a guide, I'm given a teacher, but you're not going to be holding my hand the whole time. And it's really about, and I think that's the most loving thing that you can do. If you start to rely on something or just do something without really understanding why you're doing it and learning about your body and like what is being changed and what like the goal is. I don't really know if I had a goal with any of that, right? And I wasn't like going towards anything. I was just staying where I was and just almost like validating where I was, in a
Yeah.
way. And that's not at all the experience. It is like definitely at times like a hard pill to swallow. And I had to take a lot of accountability to acknowledge where I was at. But it actually resulted in like me changing and growing. And yeah, it's like actual tangible, real result that I've experienced. Nothing else has given me that. So,
Totally. I definitely understand that. That's what I call that fake balance, that fake loop where you're doing the
mhm,
same thing over. I'm sorry, you're doing all these different things from there to here to here to here, but it's really just creating the same cycle. You're not actually going anywhere or
yeah.
leaving that loop. But because you're doing many things, you're telling yourself that you're doing stuff,
Yeah.
not
Kinda
actually
like
progressing.
yeah, it's like the root cause conversation that people are having nowadays. This is like actually, I would say, I don't really like that saying, but it is like finding the root cause because you have to
Mhm.
go deep into the issue, address it, and then do something about it instead of just having people like massage your hip flexor or like put needles in your back, you know?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Not that, yeah. That's a whole nother. I'm not going down there right now. I'm gonna be time conscious, growing in my own regards over here. That was a great answer, Court. And a couple of these we had dipped into a little bit already, but I'll give it a specific question so that people can find it. So how has your education changed areas of your life other than your physical body?
Hmm. I have been able to be way more honest with myself about what I desire, what I want in life, how I want my relationships to be, what I want to be doing for work. Like, geez, I'm literally certified in this now because I'm like, wait, I don't like sales. I don't want to be in this tech industry anymore. Like I'm being more honest with how I want to live and it resulting in like more happiness and
Oh,
freedom
Court,
and honesty in
you're gonna make
general.
me cry on here. You're gonna make me cry on here. That just made my entire day and weekend. Thank you for that.
I'm not trying to be
That's
sappy, but it's just true.
that's
So,
that's beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful. Wow, that one hit me hard. Okay, so
I could go
and
deeper into that
yeah,
too.
exactly.
Like,
Now, to spare my own tears here, moving right along. Um, if you already started to enter this one as well, if you could go back to yourself 2 years ago when you're first starting the journey, what would you
mm,
tell yourself? What would you do differently?
I feel like that's gonna make me cry now.
That
Oh, Court, poor Court. Um, I don't even know what I would just want to like hold my hand and just like be like, come on, we got this, and I got you. Like, just believe, just do it, just do it. I think she needed a lot of support at the beginning, and I think she was scared. She needed to find some safety, and so I would just provide that for her until she found it in herself, which she did.
that's a pro level answer there, people. That's a pro level answer. That's perfect. So you're exactly spot on correct. It's hard to communicate about it sometimes because it's just a harsh reality. How little we really trust ourselves, and
Mhm.
how most of us, the majority, 99% plus, are walking around with more self-defeating thought and self-constructed obstacles than we really realize or understand, can see clearly.
Mhm.
And it is a tough one when you look back and it's like, okay, wow, how many different
Yeah.
ways was I in my way? And what you, to put words in your own mouth for you here, what you've gotten good at now is asking that question of yourself up front.
Mhm.
So am I in my way gets asked up front now, not something we have to run into later down the road.
Mhm.
So that's what you started doing better. And then eventually you get so good at that that you can help other people to ask that sooner and sooner. And you start to realize, that's why I said it was a pro level answer. You realize that you can't really, the pace of it, as much as you would like to say, speed it up,
Mhm.
it's not really the priority. It's not.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's about getting it done at all. And a lot of times what gets it done at all is not faster, faster, faster.
Mhm.
And that's a pro level understanding, guys. Courtney make me proud today. Is sick. Um, and then finally, is the result worth the money? Is it worth the investment?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it I mean, it's not cheap, but it's one of those things where I don't know, I just if you're 25, 30, however old you are, like you're so young. And so if you're already experiencing that level of discomfort and pain, like imagine what you're going to have to do when you're 50, 60, and what you're going to have to be spending on your body to make it feel like even like slightly better. So it's the same with food, like all the things, right? Like take care of yourself now, do the things that you need to do now, pay more for the better food to set yourself up for the future. Like always be thinking about your future self. Always. And yeah, like your future self's gonna thank you. It's 100% worth the investment. Yeah.
Corey
Mhm.
coming with that long term vision. That is
Mhm.
exactly correct, everybody. Uh, Very impressive, Courtney. That is correct. When you look at it in the long term, absolutely.
Mhm.
It's really a hard thing for me to have to keep jacking up the prices and everything like that. Especially when I tried and failed for years to basically hand this education away, um, and how it doesn't really work. It just creates the reverse priority where people are short term focused, and it's just not the way to do it, and not the way to do it. That makes me really happy to hear, guys. Um, right from my mouth, Courtney has a big fat stamp of approval. Is an amazing coach. She is capable of taking on issues that she does not even realize she's capable of taking on yet. And that experience will build. Uh, my goal for anybody that I teach is to be able to turn around and teach it, number one, and not be Connor, be me, but to be themselves, because I believe that their spin on it could exceed mine. And that's really important, is that I want people to exceed what I'm doing, not just repeat it, because that leads to the same damn cycle we were talking about in the last 15 minutes. All right, that's not what we're here for, is not follow the leader type of behavior. We want to create new leaders always, always. That's a healthy competition. That's what allows ecosystems to thrive. You compete and you cooperate, and to be able to grow. And that growth is what makes it sustainable, instead of just settle into a status quo. And this is what we do. That's where I fell short, I think, in a lot of my old business models and certification models and things like that. It became too simplified, too similar. So this is an awesome story to follow, guys. Courtney is going places. It's just a matter of when, not if. The The time that I get to spend with these people is very special. I get to learn throughout the process, and it means a lot to me. It's hard to do. What I ask people to do is difficult. Nobody will ask something at as high a standard in your life as I will of you. And I'm very proud to do it, and I'm even happier to see when it comes back around like this full circle. So thank you so much for your time, Court. If you guys want to take a look, you'll see a lot of information about Courtney on her Instagram page. She will be able to take on clients starting ASAP. She is ready, where I'm taking on less and less one-on-one clients. So it's time for people to step in and be able to educate beyond my own capacity. I'll be moving into bigger events, so that I can start to spread the message a little bit wider and invite people just like Court to come hang out and live and experience hands-on on what the day-to-day should really look like. So thanks, Court. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see what you do.
Thanks, Conor. Appreciate you always.
Thank you, love. Bye, everybody.